Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
I am that dude, Bodkins. Patty to patty. It's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy. Give a big round of applause for the one and only Bodkin Show. I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Bodkins Show. I am that dude, Bodkins. Welcome back. It feels like forever since we didn't have a Sunday show due to Christmas. Hope everybody enjoyed their Christmas. Christmas now seems like it was 8 weeks ago. We're in just this weird time zone frame between Christmas and New Year. So here we are. Man, we are in week 17, week 16. Packers still somehow alive. I have equivalent to that to the ex-girlfriend just sending me DMs, and I have let her back in, folks. Yes, they have given me hope, and we'll talk about the Packers-Vikings game here in a little bit. No Johnny Cruz tonight. Johnny is he's still pissed off that the Dolphins lost to the Packers and has refused to answer all my DMs and all comments. Said, I'm out to show. He doesn't want to face me face to face, so he said, I'm not doing it. I'm just kidding. No, Johnny's got some stuff going on, so no Johnny Cruz tonight. No Craig tonight. He's out, got some family things going on. You know how it is in between this time. Everybody doing Christmas stuff, work stuff. So we had to bring in a man whose team was, unlike mine, was playing really well at the beginning of the year. And he thought, man, this is a team. This is a team. And then when my team was on the rise, his team is now self-imploding, folks. And they're playing right now. And he said, I'm not even going to watch the game because being on the Bodkin Show is being way more important than watching this third-string team play. Give it up for tonight's guest, representing the Titans, Mr. First Down. Mr. First Down, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me tonight in a night that you could have watched a high school team play the Cowboys.
Yeah, you said beat. I was like, what? No. Play the Cowboys, yeah. Play is a strong term. I think it's a scrimmage at this point. It's a scrimmage.
What is talk to me? Let's start from the top here. From the beginning of the season, I actually had the Colts winning this division. Titans finishing second. I actually had the Colts going to the Super Bowl, so it shows you how much I don't know. And their season is imploded, and much like yours is right now. Currently, what is like this season had hope. I know the big trade in the offseason, A.J. Brown. They did bring in Burks. It still seemed like with this division, that especially the way the Colts were going, it's like, the Titans can now win this thing. But here this last 4 or 5 weeks, it has been awful. And here come the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it looks like it's going to be winner go home next Sunday for this AFC South division that nobody really wanted to win.
Yeah, no, it totally looks that way. I mean, like the news today, right? Tannehill on IR, and I'm like, oh, great. Wow. All these guys and everything. And, leave it up to Vrabel to push all his chips in next week and go out there and trot out Josh Dobbs. I hear the game on in the background, and I hear cheering in my stadium that's obviously Cowboys fans, which makes me a little upset. But that's what happens when you put like all of your starters on the injury report. Nobody's going to show up. No one's going to show up.
It's 10-6 at halftime, so the Titans are hanging tough, which I think a Mike Vrabel team would do, right? Like we expect a Vrabel team to be tough. Where's Malik Willis? I never heard. Is he out, or they just went with Dobbs? What's going on with Malik?
I'm going on with the opinion that Josh Dobbs has been in this league a little longer, and they want somebody with more experience behind the snap. That's what I think. And you're also going to take a look at him for possible backup in the future or anything like that. The Titans are going into a very, very big off season, right? You fired your GM because, well, look at the roster. You don't have to look very far to see why the GM got fired. So now you're walking in there and you've got big money deals with Tannehill, Bud Dupree, Taylor Lewan. I don't think a lot of them are staying. You're up against it in the cap. People have got to go. The atom bomb is going to drop, and I look at it this way: J-Rob lit the fuse on a bomb, and then they fired him, and now it's exploding everywhere. So after the dust is settled, it will be Mike Vrabel and whatever GM they decide to bring in to help him make the team he envisions.
So what does this? So you said you mentioned Taylor Lewan. He even said on his podcast, we talked about it before, is that I'm probably gone. The boy's going to be gone from Tennessee. Like, he's one of the highest paid left tackles, 2 ACL surgeries. Who do you get to replace him? Because the offensive line hasn't been quite the same while Derrick Henry's still running through people. It's not the same it was, last year, even 2 years ago. Was it 3 years ago they made the AFC Championship game? So like that is deteriorated. It's happened, like you said, so fast overnight almost. It was like they went to the AFC Championship game. You're thinking, man, this team could be there. They just need to add a piece or two. And then it's just gone downhill almost, quickly. And what do they do with the quarterback situation? Is Malik the guy going forward? Because if you're not playing him now, are you going to play him, start him next year? And what do you do with Tannehill?
All right. I'll hit these bullet points one by one for you. I'll talk real slow so you can keep up with me. Okay. All right. I kid. I need a little laughter because of how my season has gone.
Believe me, hey, I'm a Packers fan, so I know. I get it.
Yeah. It's just pain and pain and pain. The Malik Willis question, I think it's unfair to judge a kid out of Liberty University, a university that told him who to throw to, and if he wasn't open, run. That was their offense at Liberty University. I would like a full off season with Pat O'Hara, the QB coach, on his butt all day, and let's see how he looks like with a full pro off season of somebody telling you the right things to do and trying to fix a lot of the bad things you do. As for the quarterback situation, the offensive line situation, it is all up in the air. I don't think you want to pay Ryan Tannehill $38 million, something like that. And you've got, unfortunately, though, you also have quarterbacks in a short supply. I mean, it's kind of interesting that Derek Carr is probably going to be entering the transfer portal, right? It's going to be an interesting offseason. But the O-line I am actually more curious about the O-line. Your center, the mainstay that you've had for your O-line for years now was Ben Jones. He's had 2 concussions this year. You and I both know in this league, you can't have multiple concussions almost back-to-back. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
So is that a career ender for him? If so, you got to shop for a new center. If Taylor Lewan's gone, you got to shop for a left tackle. Do you just end up paying Taylor because you don't want to go out and take a chance on a draft? But even then, this O-line, I don't know how you begin to fix it. I don't know where in free agency you begin. I don't know where you go in the draft. I mean, but I think we would probably be 1,000,000 to 1 chances that we're taking an offensive lineman. I'll tell you that. But this offseason, I hope Titans fans are ready because they are going to rebuild this sucker. I didn't say retool because people keep saying we just need a few more pieces. No. They're blowing this thing up, okay? There are people going home that you don't want to go home, and that's just how it is. This is where they have put themselves, and now Mike Vrabel gets to oversee a lot of things. I think Schefter tweeted it, right? He said Mike Vrabel will have considerable power going forward. Now, how much is considerable? I don't know. How much is the leash that Amy Adams Strunk, the owner, is going to give him? I don't know. But we shall see in the future. This offseason, seeing how this season has gone so far, I have countless Titans fans that I've talked to that are already looking at the offseason. They don't even care about the Jacksonville game. They're looking at the offseason because this is where this team is going to be made, not whatever happens this season.
Yeah, that was my next question. Like, so if you guys do beat Jacksonville, which I'm at the point, and I don't obviously as you're a fan, so I don't know what your feelings are with that Jacksonville game. I think Jacksonville wins that game just due to the fact that they're on the hot streak, right? Like they're the one that's on the ascending, and one team is on the descending. Like
Absolutely.
trends say who they are. And that game is in Jacksonville, so. That even credits more. Here they could be the second year in a row where they could send a team home on the last week of the season. What's your feelings going into that final week?
A lot of football things I try to separate my fandom for it, but you deal with enough Jacksonville Jaguars fans, you get pretty biased pretty quickly.
I didn't know there was Jacksonville Jaguar fans, so I mean, I guess there's that.
This explains everything. This interview is over. Anyway, so basically you and I have been fans for our teams a long time, and we watch the league, we watch how it goes on, and it always comes down to who gets hot at the right time. They are red hot right now. They are red hot. Trevor Lawrence looks like a passer reborn. It took them half the season to figure it out. When they hired Doug Peterson, I remember telling all my friends and everything, I said, well, this is not good. They've got somebody that knows how to win. That's the ticket. And I think they're riding the hot hand. I would pick them next week if my fandom would separate enough for me to do that. But the point is that these guys, I think I said it when Trevor Lawrence got drafted, I said, how this league is. It can turn on its head so quickly, so very quickly. And in 2 and 3 years, the Jaguars could be running the table and we could be bottom feeders. And now here we are going into a rebuilding year. Rebuilding years, high percentage of the time, end up being bad or average. So you're hoping that people can try to uplift that as much as he can. But boy, oh boy, the boys in two-tone blue have a lot of work ahead of them, a ton of work ahead of them.
And if you really think about it, you look at that, the Jacksonville Jaguars, like they have their quarterback of the future and now. The other three teams in this division, they don't. The Titans don't, and Ryan Tannehill, we just talked about it. He's possibly gone. The Colts, who knows what they're going to do, going looking for their 10th quarterback since Andrew Luck. The Texans are obviously going to be drafting, Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, you would think, with that number 1 or 2 overall pick. Right. So, the Jaguars right now, like once the season ends, going into next season, you would think that they would almost be the favorite to win the division again.
Oh, they should be. I imagine Good Morning Football will lead with that during the offseason where they discuss the AFC South, much like how they picked the Colts. Anyway, but I think when it comes down to that, like I said, it's just Trevor Lawrence has transformed that team. Doug Peterson has transformed that team. And here they are. Here's the Jags out of years and years of disappointment, countless first-round draft picks at quarterback or whatnot. I think if you will also notice that the Colts and Titans are pretty similar. We just have a better coach, right? Our coach is better. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. We keep putting a Band-Aid on the quarterback position. And eventually the Band-Aid, gets old and nasty and you got to take it off, And
it doesn't help when you're not supporting that Band-Aid, right? When you get rid of, maybe the best ointment around in A.J. Brown, and you never really had a number. You already lost Corey Davis the year before that, who wasn't he wasn't what you drafted, what you thought in the first-round pick, but he was still a good supplemental piece to A.J. Brown. And then you don't bring those guys back, and then you make the trade for the Rams wide receiver Woods, and he's coming off of ACL surgery. And then it's just like, well, we'll just try to run with Derrick Henry 100 times a game, and everybody knows what we're going to do.
Off tackle right, off tackle left, off tackle right. Yeah. It's I thought the Jeff Fisher days were over, but apparently not. They're alive and well here in Tennessee.
Yeah. That's just the Tennessee. Once you get to Tennessee, they have these plans, and it's like, well, we only know how to do one thing here in Tennessee.
Yeah, the wide receivers block for you. That's what's going on. But there's a lot of change coming. I just don't see how there isn't. It's going to happen. And everything you just mentioned, the deal's not made and everything. John Robinson got fired because of that. He got fired
Yeah.
because you didn't do your job. You didn't do your job. You're paying people. You're paying Julio Jones to wear a different jersey right now. You paid Jadeveon Clowney to wear a different jersey. Free agent deal is not going up. You've only, out of the 3 years of drafting, he has only re-signed 2 people. That's just not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it at all.
It shows, number one, that you're not drafting guys that you want to keep, so you're not doing your due diligence during the draft. Like you're not drafting and developing these guys to where you want to re-sign them.
Right. That is exactly what it shows. So, so far, I have played the part of the crazy apocalypse guy with the bell and the sign saying the end is nigh outside Baptist Sports Park, which is where the Titans' offices are. It'd be, the end is coming. Can you feel it? But I would take this moment to say Ryan Tannehill really did a good job for us. I really want to say that. And if he would take a deal to bring him back, I would take him, because look out there. There's not a lot of quarterback play to be had.
Right? Like there's probably going to be more open spots than there are good quarterbacks.
Competent quarterbacks.
Quality quarterbacks. So like you're looking at quality, decent quarterbacks that would be available. You're looking at Jimmy G possibly, but coming off another injury. Derek Carr. Ryan, I would add Tannehill's a quality quarterback if the Titans let him go. Those are 3.
Daniel Jones is going to be coming free. I don't know if he's quality.
Is he quality quarterback, though? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. Brissett's going to be probably coming free, too. Is that a quality? I don't know.
We've seen those 2 shows. Yeah, I don't consider them they're not top 15 quarterbacks. You know what I mean? They're not somebody that's going to lead the team to the playoffs, I don't think. I don't believe, I don't think so. And then you look at the teams that are going to be looking for quarterbacks. You're going to look at the Raiders for a new quarterback, Washington with a new quarterback, because this Carson, I don't think they're sold on Wentz or Heineke. The Colts are going to be looking for another quarterback. I guess the Texans will draft one, but you're either going to have – Yeah, and then it's, the Titans could be looking for one. The Jets could be looking for one. The Giants could be looking for one. So there's several teams out there that are going to be looking for one. But there's always going to be a move that could be made like we didn't expect to see, like we've seen in the last few years.
Right. Somebody, for all intents and purposes, somebody like the Raiders or somebody like the Giants could be like, hey, how much you want for Tannehill? That's where we are. It's might not happen, but I don't think it's far-fetched to think something like that would happen.
I think Tannehill in the Giants system would fit really well because he is a little bit mobile like a Josh Allen, and we've seen what Daboll did with Josh Allen. He's an upgrade over Daniel Jones. You could get a first for Tannehill, and then that's what, if you're saying the Titans need to rebuild, well, let's tear it all down and trade for picks and build it back up.
The end is nigh. Anyway, that's all I've been saying. I'm like, the end is nigh. So if somebody were to trade for Tannehill, we did the numbers already for this. And by we, I mean me in a Google search and sportstrack.com. If you cut Tannehill, you got like 18, close to $19 million. If you trade, that's like 35 off the books, like that. So I think the Titans would love to entertain that offer if he doesn't want to take a better deal. See, I am the type that is not quick to movement, partly because I'm fat, and another reason is because I don't want to take a gamble on some young kid going out there and just being, Ryan Leaf. I don't. Yeah. That's what you don't want. No fan wants that. But isn't kind of these things like fortune favors the bold, right? Eventually you have to rip off the Band-Aid. You have to take a shot on somebody. And I feel that Vrabel is kind of this kind of gutsy guy, and I feel like he's going to take a flyer out on somebody. I think he's going to do it.
Is it going to be Malik Willis then? Is Malik the answer? What have you seen from Malik in going forward?
Malik is not ready to come out of the oven yet by any means. Look, Josh Dobbs is starting right now, okay? Josh Dobbs is starting a football game right now, and he already looks better than Malik throwing the football. Like, he just looks better than he does. And I say that he's probably just screwing up right now. I don't know. Anyway, as I'm saying this, he's just doing terrible. But the Malik Willis, I just don't see it. But that's me, right? It's up for Malik Willis to prove me wrong. If he goes and has an off season and he learns to be a better passer, if he learns to make better decisions, if he learns not to hold on to the ball too long and get sacked and fumble, these are all great things. But I will say this, to the kid's credit, no quarterback in existence can perform behind my O-line right now. They just can't. They're horrible. They're horrible. We have the worst left tackle in the league, somebody that John Robinson traded for, and he is awful. He is awful. I don't know how to stress it enough. But that's, hey, that's the game that was played. He was the one calling the shots, and he's the one out of a job right now. So, sign Baker Mayfield? No.
Sign Baker. Baker as a Titan in Nashville,
Yeah. Okay, listen. This is one of these things where I have to stretch my fandom out of it. Baker is a solid option. I don't put him in the upper tier because he didn't carry the Browns. He didn't carry Carolina. Is he going to carry the Rams in a season that's lost already? I just don't. I don't think Baker is that kind of guy. Baker, and by the way, every team he leaves, nobody's really crying he's gone. Like nobody says,
No.
God, I'm going to.
I will say this: if I'm the Rams, I would sign Baker Mayfield back because to me, you don't know what Matthew Stafford's future looks like. Right. Whether it's A, possible retirement, B, health, because they're talking Tommy John type stuff before the season started, and then he got hurt.
Problems too.
Yeah. So knee or elbow and back problems. So why not keep Baker? Because Baker would be a plausible backup. And then you get a whole time with Sean McVay, who is supposed to be one of these quarterback guru types that can. Right. I mean, Baker's he's no worse than Jared Goff, and they went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Sean McVay is a offensive mind quarterback guru. He looked a little lost this year, which was odd for him. But I think when you win the Super Bowl and people watch that film over and over, they tend to key on certain things, right? And couldn't be delivered, unfortunately for them. But when you started saying all of his problems, I was like head, shoulders, knees, and toes. My ADD is in full effect. But
you good, brother.
They can go ahead and keep Baker Mayfield for all I care. Nothing personal. Look, if he's here, great. I'm just going to root for the wide receiver the entire time to catch a ball because I don't like the crotch grabbing, the stupid commercials on TV. I just don't care for it. But like I trust Vrabel, so if Vrabel's cool with it, I guess I'll be cool with it too.
And that seems to be the sentiment is Titans. I'm gonna one more question before we get into before we start picking this week's games.
Sure.
How long is the leash for Vrabel? Because everybody seems to be on Vrabel's side. From national media to local media, like, hey, Vrabel's a guy. We're going to give him the keys. Oh,
where'd you go?
And form his team. How long is this leash? If this rebuild takes longer.
You have to defer to the owner, Amy Adams Strunk, on that one. But I believe if you're going to rebuild a team, you have to give the guy 2 to 3 years to get it level again. Because you're really about to blow this thing up. Your offensive line is Swiss cheese at this point. If Ben Jones retires and you let go of Taylor Lewan, that's 2. You're not sure about your left tackle or left guard even. So, like, to me, you're going to have to make your decisions there. And if it's going to take rookies to gel in that, I don't think it's fair to just give them short enough leave. All right, hey, 1 year, something's got to get done, all right, or you're out. Because I think she knows, like, she fired J-Rob after the Philadelphia game, and she had her reasons, and it was culminating or whatever, but she was just tired of seeing A.J. Brown score on us again and again and again. But
hey, that guy used to be on our team. That guy right there scoring 3 touchdowns against us, doing dirty things, used to be on our team. We traded him for what?
Yeah. And
Your
there's
bag
like a
of
whole
balls?
story about that where John Robinson tried to short sell him and stuff like that. There's like this crazy story out there. And I wondered, like, I really started to wonder because she came out and said that she had thought about it already. And I think that just kind of made up her mind for her. Like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. So, but it's also interesting because it used to be if somebody found out I was a Titans fan, they would go, oh, Derrick Henry, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm a Titans fan. People go, Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is a great coach. Everyone knows he's a great coach. Look what he's done with bad talent. What can he do with good to great talent? That's the question. That's what Titans fans like myself want to see. That's what we want to see. So when it comes to Leash, I think he's got 3 years to start producing. That's what I think. But
3 years after this year. 3 years after this year.
3
or
years
next
after
year.
this year. After this year. 3 years after this year. Yes.
So you're really kind of saying like 2-year rebuild, and then that third year, let's get back to the playoffs.
We got to do something like that. But that's me. I don't have facts and figures and everything. I just look.
But at that point in time, my only counteroffer would be at that time, at 3 years, Derrick Henry's prime's probably over.
Oh, well, I mean, what if he's one of the ones that are cut this year? I said it.
Do you think that's possible? Derrick King Henry being cut?
I think anything is possible. Anything. Anything.
I mean, if you're not going to cut him, I don't think you cut him. I think you try to trade him.
Right. You try to get a third or fifth or something like that for him and move on. The Titans are usually.
But they just re-signed his deal, though, didn't they? They gave him
a pay raise. I don't think they re-signed
pay raise. Yeah, pay raise is what it was. The same years, but more money.
Right. Now look, for all I know, they keep him, and I'll be happy to have the old workhorse. Okay, I'll love a guy that he can't run anymore, but he can lay down and get 3 yards. I'll take that. I rode the Eddie George coattails for.
I would say Eddie George was the same way till
I freaking love that guy. I love that guy. But no, it's nothing is off the table here, and I just keep sitting there looking at the cap situation. And I don't think you have to be like know-it-all or anything to look at the writing on the wall here. It's gonna be blown up. Prepare yourselves, Titans fans, because the end is nigh. I said the joke again. The end is nigh. It's happening. Make your peace with it.
Well, let me ask you one question just about your regular fandom. What favorite Titan ever? Your favorite Titan? You mentioned Eddie George. I remember a lot of them Titans. I grew up here in Missouri, so obviously meeting their Titans in the Super Bowl with the Rams, Steve McNair, and them boys. Yeah. What favorite Titan all time?
Favorite Titan all time, still Eddie George for me. That guy was so much fun. No disrespect to Javon Curse, no disrespect to Steve McNair or whatever, but when that crowd, with me included, saying Eddie, Eddie over and over again, and he used to get in the end zone and put his hand up to his ear to hear it. And I just remember thinking, like, this guy is just a beast. And a little fast forward 2 years ago, the Bills game was going on, the one where Jeffrey Simmons stopped him at the goal line and won in the last second, Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Eddie George, they put the cam on him. Bills fans, Titans fans were all yelling, Eddie, Eddie. I was like, the guy's a legend. The guy's just a freaking legend. Like, everybody knows who he is. Like, that's what he is. And I have met the guy 3 or 4 times, and he has always been very gracious and very awesome. Super, super awesome dude. Happy to have him in the state of Tennessee.
All right. Hey, Mr. First Down, I appreciate it talking all the Titans. Let's go ahead and I loved Eddie George was a dog. I mean, Ohio State Heisman Trophy winner, all the way into Tennessee. Yeah. Absolute stud. One of the best, probably, I'm 35. Obviously, you're right around my age or so. Probably one of the top 15 or 16 running backs of our lifetime. Like, if you
totally
loaded it down, you know what I mean? I think he kind of gets lost in that shuffle because he never won like the big one. He wasn't like a top, put up gaudy numbers all the time, but he had a great stretch there for a long time.
Right. I think a lot of people. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm ready to get into it. Let's do it. Okay.
Let's get into this week's picks. All right. Last week, I just want to review everybody's picks. My picks, I went 10-6 last week. Johnny went 6-9, and Craig, my other co-host, went 7-8. So I had my best week in a while last week. Week 16, I finally figured this thing out. Let's go ahead and dive into it. We won't pick tonight's game just because it's already going on, but I probably would have picked the Cowboys to cover the
I would have picked the Cowboys.
gaudy spread at 13.5 or whatever it was going into tonight's game. Ended up being 13.5. Yeah. Right now, the Cowboys don't look like they didn't cover that in the first half, but we still have plenty of game to go here in the second half. But let's jump into Sunday's games. We got the Cardinals and the Falcons. Cardinals looks like Cliff Kingsbury's probably on his way out. They are 3.5 dogs headed to Atlanta. Mr. First Down, who you like here? Atlanta going with their backup. I guess, Ritter is the backup. Not too sure if it's Colt McCoy or McSorley going for the Cardinals here.
When it comes to games like this, these are two rough teams having a hard time. I'm gonna take the Cardinals there, just because Ritter's if it's Colt McCoy or McSorley, I'm just gonna go because they have more experience, and Ritter is still getting his feet wet. So I'm gonna go Arizona Cardinals.
You taking the Cardinals at plus 3.5. I like Atlanta here. I think Arizona's given up on their coach, their team. I think your guy Arthur Smith, he had a lot of success down there in Tennessee. I think he's still
come back to us, Art. We didn't mean what we said. Come back.
I think he's doing a good job down there in Atlanta. They're building something there. It's gonna take another year or two, but you just feel like, hey, that's a team that plays for their coach. And I like that team. It's minus 3.5 for Atlanta. I'm hammering it home. I don't feel great about it, but that's just I can't trust Arizona. They stink. J.J. Watt did announce his retirement.
Yeah.
We get into the next one here. Bears, Lions. The Bears are 6.5 dogs against the Lions, who had everything to play for last week and absolutely shit the bed like the normal Lions. Like the old regular ass Lions. We thought this was the new Lions. No, They're the same old stinky Lions. Had everything to play for, and I'm glad they lost. Helped my Packers out, but again, they're favorites here at 6.5. Do you like the Bears at being the dogs at 6.5, or do you like the heavy favorite Lions?
I will say, first of all, look, who doesn't love Dan Campbell, right? There's not a fan alive that doesn't watch that guy and go, oh, my God, he's amazing. But I'm going to go with the Lions on this one. I feel like they get up on the Bears, and the Bears can't keep pace.
So you like the Lions?
Yep.
I think Justin Fields can get some. 6.5 is too much. The Bears stink too at 6.5. But 6.5 is a lot. The Lions seem to play in close games. I think Fields can keep it close with his legs. Give me the Bears at plus. I like Lions money line, but I like Bears at plus 6.5 here. Give me the dogs on the.
You're very smart to pick the opposite of me. That's a good move. Very good move.
We get into a team that just fired their head coach in the Denver Broncos, and Russ Wilson is saying he should have played harder or should have played better for Mr. Hackett, was his terms. And now they go to Kansas City, interim coach at plus 12. The Chiefs never covered. Let me ask you thoughts on this whole Russ Wilson, Nathaniel Hackett situation in Denver, and then go ahead and give me your pick.
Oh, man, Russell Wilson. I thought Nathaniel Hackett thought he was getting something really, really awesome, and then Russell Wilson comes in, and he's just kind of like, I like being famous. And I feel, man, it was never going to work out. And I felt like Nathaniel Hackett was kind of stringing it together as much as he could, and then it just, like, nothing he ever did worked. It's like when you're trying to plug a hole on a ship and then another hole opens up. We've seen the cartoon, the cat's putting his toes in him and his mouth, everything. And it just Just not good. Kansas City Chiefs are going to win this one. There's just that Broncos team is down and out, man.
Even with the big spread, huh? At 12.
Yeah. Well, you're killing me here. Yeah, even with the big spread. Yeah, sure. Go opposite. Hit your hammer.
I am. Here's the thing. The interim coach, they always play hard the first week for the interim coach. Kansas City never covers. They just played the Chiefs real tough a couple weeks ago when Russ got the concussion. I think two things. I think Denver hiring Hackett, hoping they could get Rodgers, and then they couldn't get Rodgers. They settled for Russ. And I was talking to a guy on Christmas on our game day show on Let's Talk Sports, and he's a Seattle guy. And he was saying, Russ, that offense is set for timing, right? Like, and that's the way the Packers are. It's like, drop 3 steps, and Russ doesn't play that well. That offense doesn't suit Russ's, format. He's, and you hear a lot of pundits even say that. That's the reason it hasn't worked. They're going to have to get a coach that it can work for Russ because they paid him a shit ton of money not to stink. So for a lot of years,
they're stuck with him for 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, they can't trade him. Who would want to trade for him? You got to go get a coach that can hopefully fit his play style. Maybe Sean Payton, but it's reported that Sean Payton wants to live someplace nice, have control as in like GM situations, and that was pretty like 2 of those major things there. So
and then he can screw up the Saints, screw up this team like he did the Saints, and then just leave
right before he gets out. Yep, right before he knows it's going bad, can dip out.
Just saying, I talked to Saints fans recently, and every one of them told me, like, F that dude. He screwed us up. Like, he just screwed us and left. I took his ball.
Well, I mean, he got the – yep. They nailed it all the way up, and then, hey, when you see the match getting lit, it's time to dip out the house. And he got out just in time.
Love you, Saints Nation. Bye.
Give me the Broncos at plus 12. It's just too high.
The rent's too damn high. You know that.
We got 2 teams fighting here for their playoff lives. No, I would love to have Johnny on, but he was busy because I wanted to talk a lot about this Tua situation. The Dolphins going to New England fighting for their playoff lives. 4 straight losses. It is Teddy Two Gloves going to the Patriots. They're 2.5 dogs. What's your thoughts here? Teddy Two Gloves, and what's your thoughts here with the Dolphins Patriots? And is Tua done? This is possibly his 3rd concussion. Yeah. You mentioned the offensive line for the Titans. Like, this is Tua's 3rd concussion in 17 weeks.
Yeah, not good. Not good at all. I hate this one. I hate it. I don't want to bet against Belichick, but I just feel like this is a get-right game for the Dolphins. I think the Patriots
with Teddy.
Yeah, you're right. I think the Patriots get it.
You got the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you on this. I don't trust Teddy Two Gloves. I think Bill will be able to force him into some bad decisions. Teddy can't. Tua can't throw the deep ball that great, but Teddy has never been a guy that can stretch the field. I like the Patriots somehow, some way, and that keeps the Patriots playoff lives and almost damn near ends the Dolphins. And they're going to be asking a lot of questions of what the hell happened. We went all in even at the trade deadline when we made the trade for Chubb, Jeff Wilson, and it could just be hinged on Tua just inability to stay healthy.
Maybe it's because their head coach looks like Mandark from Dexter's Laboratory. I could be wrong.
But we're both in on the Pats here. Give me the Pats at minus 2.5.
Bill's going to mumble his way through this, and they're going to figure it out. That's what we're going to do. That was a horrible impression. I'm sorry.
We go to your arch rival, the Colts here, 5.5 dogs going to the Giants. Giants trying to continue to try to fight for their playoff lives. They went out, they're in, and they got the Colts at 5.5. Though the Colts stink. They might be the worst team in the league. I know the Texans got the worst record, but it looks like they play hard. Jeff Saturday doesn't look like he's any better than Frank Wright was. They have no quarterback, whether it's Big Dick Nick Foles, whether it's statue stone Matt Ryan, or Sam Ellinger.
Oh yeah, no, Giants all the way here. Not even close. Indianapolis Colts doesn't have the players. They're a lost team right now. I know how that feels. But they're just not nothing for them. They're empty.
Yeah, they have nothing. Jonathan Taylor, I think he's done. Is he on the IR too? Jonathan Taylor's on the IR.
Yeah,
IR.
There's no reason to waste his talents here. He you know, put him on IR all season.
It's all over for the Colts. It's been over. I'm with you. The Giants got everything to play for. Give me the Giants at +5 or -5.5.
Yeah, the hammer's so intimidating. Oh God, I'm like sweating.
Sorry, that's what she said.
Oh, he did it. Oh, this is interesting.
We get into the Saints-Eagles here. The Saints, we were just talking about Sean Payton, his former team, headed to the Eagles. It looks like Hurts could play. If not, it's a Minshew mania again. Eagles given 6.5 here as the Saints come to town at +6.5.
Oh, I hate this one. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm gonna say Eagles. Barring any like Andy Dalton red rifle magic, I just don't see the Saints making it. I think the Eagles take care of business.
I'm right there with you. Whether it's Minshew, I thought Minshew played pretty well, turned the ball over a few times, got a limit of turnovers. That's another guy that could be looking to get a starting job next year. Again,
I
maybe
I was more than happy to get him out of Jacksonville. He gave us fits.
He could be a good bridge quarterback, if not the guy for some teams next year. But I like Minshew mania or Jalen Hurts. So I think maybe Mahomes could be MVP. Maybe it's Hurts. Maybe it's Justin Jefferson's not getting enough love because he's having a career year. Right now I'd give a slight edge to Hurts possibly if he can play these next two games. Who's your MVP of the league right now?
It's Hurts. Injury or not, it's Hurts. I just think he's done enough and done some amazing things to garner that award. I think it's him, though. I think it's him, but I would love it to be Justin Jefferson. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, they're gonna pick Hurts, but I want Justin Jefferson to get it.
Why they call it the MVP when they just give it to a quarterback every year?
When it's always a quarterback every single time.
You know what I mean? 2 years ago, when Derrick Henry almost rushed for 200,000 yards, he should have been MVP really because he's the most. You take him out from that Titans team, they don't win they don't make the playoffs. Or you look at Justin Jefferson, what he's doing with the Vikings. He's literally setting he's breaking records, and they're not going to
catching Kirk Cousins bad balls all the time.
Yeah, and they're not going to give him the MVP. I'm with you. I'll give it a slight edge to the Hurts, and I got the Eagles here in Minshew mania. Whether it's Hurt or Minshew, I think the Saints absolutely stink. Do they fire their coach after this year? Paul Allen?
Oh, I don't know. They're definitely the big easy right now. I think Allen sticks around one more year, but if it's another stinker, he's gone. I think that's what it's going to be.
Who would have thought this game was happening where it's almost for all the marbles in the NFC South? The Panthers headed to the Bucks. The Panthers are +3. They're dogs headed to Tampa Bay. Week 17. Who would have thought the Panthers would be here? A chance to win their division possibly after firing Matt Rule, trading CMC. And here they are. If they beat the Bucks, they could win this damn division.
Yeah, they could. They very well could. I think the Bucks take it though. I think Tom Brady, for all intents and purposes, is going to retire after this year. So he's going to want to go out on a high note. So I think he finds a way to top them, get in field goal range at the end of the game and just kick the field goal and go home.
Well, that would if it's that would be a push. It's -3, and so unless it's tied, and you're saying the Bucs would win by 3, then it's still a push, right?
I'm sorry, the Bucs win by 3. That's what I think.
Yeah, all right, okay. I'm with you on that one. I think Bucs win this one. You got to continue to pick Tom. It's Tom Brady. I've made this analogy before. I think like my brain sees Brady on the jersey, so I expect and see greatness, but my eyes are literally telling me that that's not the same Brady, but my heart and brain don't want to believe that that's the Brady that I've seen the last 20 years.
You remember that clip from Saving Private Ryan when that guy picks up his severed arm? I swear that's going to be Tom Brady someday. He's just going to like be walking around aimlessly and just pick his arm off the ground and like go back to the sideline. He's fine. He's coming back in. Ooh.
Let's get into the next one. The game I need the Browns to win to help my Packers here. They go to the Commanders, who are going back to Carson Wentz at quarterback. The Commanders are 2.5 favorites here, hosting Massage Watson and the Browns.
That's funny. I want to go the Browns here. I just don't believe in Wentz. I have zero faith in that man. He has been given opportunity after opportunity, and he hasn't shown anything. I think it's a mistake by Washington to just say, all right, Heineke, that's enough. I think it's a mistake.
I do too. I said that at the beginning of the year. I don't know why Heineke wasn't starting from week 1.
I agree. Him and McLaurin have a great relationship, and it obviously shows. And for some reason, they want to go back to the ginger with neck acne. I just don't get it. I just don't get it at all.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Give me the Browns. I need Browns money line, so I need the Browns to cover the spread too. Wentz throws a pick 6 to lose the game. Give me the Brownies, baby.
Separate your fandom. Separate it.
All right. I'm trying. I do. Massage Watson's playing better. I feel like it. They stunk it up last week, but the week before that they played better. Still no Lamar Jackson for the Ravens, and here come the Steelers, who are trying to keep the streak alive for Mike Tomlin. No losing season. The Steelers are such up and down all the time, and they're 2.5 dogs here to the Lamar Jackson-less Ravens.
I'm going to go Steelers here, and I'll tell you why. I think the Ravens might have better players, but without Lamar out there, they look lost. Andrews doesn't look good. Everybody's just kind of meandering about, and that's what I just keep seeing any Ravens clip that goes by. I think the Steelers are going to be ready for this game. It's a big division game. My wife and I always watch these ones because they just beat the crap out of each other. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think the Steelers are going to be up for it, and I think they're going to punch the Ravens in the mouth.
It won't be as fun as the old school games when it was like Ed Reed and Ray Lewis on one side and Troy Polamalu and them boys on one other side, and it was going to be like a defensive game, and it was going to be 9-6. And this game could be 9-6, and it's just because it's two bad offenses and somewhat decent defenses going at it. Not two great defenses battling at it. I'm with you, though. The Ravens, no receivers. I know JK's back, but no Lamar. The Steelers have some weapons. It's Kenny Pickett just needs to continue to improve. Their offensive line, geez, you want to talk about Swiss cheese or the Titans' offensive line. I don't even know what you call the Steelers' offensive line. What's worse than Swiss cheese? Swiss shit, I guess is about it. So that's the Steelers.
Grinder.
That's the Steelers' offensive line. But I still like the Steelers. If you're giving me points in Tomlin, I think the Steelers can get it done here. Give me the Steelers.
Yeah, we've agreed again. Happiness can be reached.
We're either going to do really well or we're going to do really bad. We get into the Jacksonville Jaguars going to the Texans. Jags obviously got to win this game to continue to face your team for the setup that what could be Sunday night primetime football on Week 18. Jags, Titans, win or go home. Who you like here is the Jags go to the Texans at 4.5, 4-point favorite.
This is going to be an interesting game. I think Jacksonville takes it, but I think the Texans put up a fight the entire way. I don't think it's easy. I think the Jaguars outlast them. You know what I mean? Like there's just this punch, counter punch, and then all of a sudden it just breaks loose, and the Jacksonville takes it. But
so do you like the Texans, Jaguars money line, but Texans with the points?
Yes. Yes, I do.
You like Texans with the 4+4?
Yes.
I think Jacksonville is just playing hot, and I think the Texans have been playing a lot better the last 3 weeks. I think Lovie Smith, unfortunately, he's probably getting fired, even though he probably he shouldn't be because it's not his fault that they actually have nobody.
No, you're right. You're right.
I mean. But Jacksonville just looks like a team right now that's just rolling. ETN and Zay Jones. I mean, Trevor Lawrence looks like the number one pick the guy who we all thought he was going to be here in year 2, and which really to me is kind of you throw out last year because Urban Meyer was an idiot and doesn't know how to coach pro football in that circus town. So really kind of his rookie year. I like Trevor Lawrence, baby. I'm riding with Mr. Sunshine himself. Give me the Jags.
Mr. Sunshine. That is so true. So true. What's next? What we got here?
We got those 49 Brock Purdy and the 49ers taking on Jared Stidham and the Raiders. Let me get your take on the Raiders here. They benching Carr. Carr's not even allowed in the building. Devontae Adams, he's pissed off because he said the only reason I'm here in this shithole place is because of that guy, and now you're kicking him out. I should have stayed in Green Bay trying to win a Super Bowl with my other guy, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. So karma's a bitch, ain't it, Devontae?
Hey, what are we talking about separating fandom? You get out of there.
Hey, well, sometimes it comes out. Sometimes it comes out.
Yeah, you can't help yourself. The Raiders are suffering from Josh McDanielism. I guarantee you that guy is with Mark Davis going, my offense wins championships, blah, blah, blah. That's what my offense does. Obviously, Josh, it does. Anyway.
We just need a quarterback. I need Tom Brady, a guy like Tom Brady, or I don't think Jared Stidham's the answer.
No, I don't think Jared Stidham's the answer either. This is going to be an interesting game to see if Stidham kind of holds his own or not. It's going to be an interesting game. But, here's the San Francisco 49ers, and here's a third-string quarterback who, for some reason, is just winning games or whatnot. That being said, I think Las Vegas edges them. I don't know why I feel that way. I feel like Brock is in for a downfall somewhere, like a bad a late game interception or something to ruin it. I feel it.
That 49ers defense is absolutely full of dogs, and they look like the best defense in the league. It looks like Debo's coming back this week as well. Practice today. The spread's 9.5. I'll take the -9.5. And give me Brock Purdy and the boys. I just think the Raiders stink. They absolutely stink.
They do.
I mean, they're going to be outcoached. They're just going to be outperformed. The Raiders have no offensive line. They haven't drafted well. So give me the Niners, and Brock Purdy keeps it going.
I hate that name, Brock Purdy. He sounds like a Western sheriff. Well, Brock Purdy, what brings you back into town?
We get into another two teams fighting for their playoff lives. It's Mike White is back with the Jets here. Looks like he's a full go. They're moving on from Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, he could be your next quarterback of the Titans. Keep your mom out the streets, Mr. First Down. If Zach Wilson's your quarterback, they are laying 2 to the Seahawks. Seahawks dogs at home for the first time in a long time.
I don't know. I think Seattle's going to win this one. I just feel that who's the Seattle's head coach? What's his name? Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll's a little bit more of a tactician than Robert Saleh, and I think they find a way to win that game. I don't know how they win it, but I think they find a way to win it.
This team loves Mike White for some odd reason. This team rallies around him. He's back. That Jets defense is that Jets. Yeah, what else? I guess if it's Zach Wilson or Mike White, you're going to rally around the guy that what do they got to rally around somebody? I'm rallying around Mike White. Give me Mike White and the boys. I'm hammering home the Jets here.
It's all the arm tattoos, isn't it? That's what gets you all hot and bothered. You just can't take it. Brady to the Raiders in 2023. Maybe. I can't tell you no. Yeah, it's possible.
He's a free agent, so why not, right?
Yeah. Why would you?
I just think he's done.
I think he's done.
I think he's done. If he signs on to another team, it won't look great. I don't think it's going to look any better than it does this year.
He'll Brett Favre himself. You know what I mean? Like he'll just hang in there way too long. Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of Brett Favre, it's the Packers. The Vikings headed to the Packers. Somehow the Vikings are continuing to be disrespected at plus, and they're getting points at plus 3.5. People stop buying in on the Packers, and it doesn't help. Jair Alexander's talking shit to Justin Jefferson, saying that week 1 was a fluke. I already don't like it. I'm going to go ahead and give you my pick for it. I pray that Green Bay can win this game. I thought the Dolphins would put us out of our misery last week. I'm going to continue to pick against the Packers, so give me Minnesota at plus 3.5. Hopefully the Packers can come with the money line, but I'm taking Minnesota. I buried the Packers. I got to continue to bury them, but deep down inside, they're giving me more hope and hope every time.
Right. I look at that Minnesota defense. I think they can beat the Packers there. I think they're disrespected also because, well, simply put, Kirk Cousins their quarterback. I think that's where it all stems from. We see that guy play, and I've watched him throw these balls around, and some of them are good, but a lot of these balls, these wide receivers like Thielen and guys like that have to adjust greatly to get their hands on it. So I think people just feel that Kirk Cousins isn't all that. Maybe he's not, but I feel like Minnesota's figured something out. They've got it.
They have a horseshoe up their ass is what they have. They have 12 wins. 11 of them are one-score games. 11-0 in one-score games.
I did appreciate them greatly in that Colts game. I appreciate that. That was wonderful.
I mean, they've got to be the luckiest team. I mean, it's luck and skill, but it just, for whatever reason, I don't really have a word to say other than it's a little luck, a little skill, and the ball just seems to bounce their way every time.
Their play-by-play guy is terrific, though. If you want to give yourself a treat, look up Paul Allen on the Vikings radio. He does an excellent job.
If I'm a Viking, my uncle is a huge Vikings fan. I have to text him every Sunday just to make sure he didn't die of a heart attack because what that emotional roller coaster ride's got to be like watching the Vikings play every week.
He should be battle tested by now. He should be good to go. Like, what we got? What's next? What we got?
We got the Rams at the Chargers here. It is 6.5. Baker Mayfield and the Rams dogs really at home against the Chargers. Chargers are getting hot, locked into the playoff spot. They clinched the playoff spot last week, but they are 6.5 favorite are the Chargers, taking on Baker and the rest of the third-string Rams. You want to talk about third-string Titans. The Rams are just as third-string as the Titans are.
They're having a bad time. I'm I'm going to take the Chargers here. I just think they're better talented than the Rams are at this moment. It's not hard to be better than a third string, though. So
yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there with you, Mr. First Down. I think the Chargers are just leaps and beyond talent-wise on the field. The thing that scares me is that their coach still scares me that he's going to do something stupid. And let me ask you this, because they have all the pieces that maybe Sean. We've kind of had this running theme with Sean, not McVay, but the Saints head coach, former coach.
Sean Payton.
Yeah, there it was. If the Chargers lose out in that first round, do they fire their coach Staley and go with Sean Payton? Could you see that happening? Because I think
I can see it happening for sure. But boy, you do that right after they make the playoffs. Woo, man. Bosa is practicing. Well, that's good. That's good to know. But I think it's plausible. I think if Sean Payton is talking to you, then you ditch Staley for Sean Payton without question. Without question.
Yeah, I think so too. Sean Payton's got a proven record, and Staley, the only thing he's proven is that he's willing to go for it on an absurd amount of fourth downs, and his play calling, it's real questionable a lot of times, and I feel like it's going to eventually come back to bite him. But I'm with you. I got them beating the Chargers. And then we get into really the game of the week, showdown for the really winner probably takes home number one seed in the AFC. It's a pick'em game. Bills at the Bengals, Monday Night Football.
That's going to be
game of the week.
Oh, goodness. Shoot. I'm going to say Bills. Because I've seen Joey Burr make a lot of mistakes as of late. And I feel like Josh Allen's, I think, the more complete quarterback at this moment. No disrespect to Joey Burrow, because I think he's a great quarterback. But, I mean, I keep seeing him throw pick sixes and silly things like that. And
Josh Allen has done the same thing, though. It's cost the Bills their losses.
You're right. You're absolutely right. This is recency bias. I just saw Joey Burrow a couple weeks ago do it, and maybe I'm just like, maybe he's just bad right now. Whatever.
Maybe you're still bitter from last year's in the playoffs when they win it. They came in and punched you right in the face.
My contract stipulated we were not going to talk about this.
There's a problem with the fax machine. I didn't get it.
Yeah,
I didn't get it.
Yeah, you got that right. No, I have a great deal of respect for Joe Burrow. I think the Bills are just a more complete team than they are at the moment. At the moment, I say. But I don't see anything wrong if you picked Cincinnati either. I think it's a toss-up.
I think we could very well see these two teams play for a trip to get into the Super Bowl in about 3 weeks, or whatever, 3 or 4 weeks, whenever it is.
Wholeheartedly.
I love both of these guys. I love both Burrow. I'm a huge Joe Burrow fan. I tell people all the time, I'm a man crush over him. I just love his moxie, his toughness. Nothing like the guy gets sacked, throws an interception, just gets back up. Same cool looking fucking dude that I saw on the play before, and just rifle one in there. And just fuck to Higgins, to Boyd, to Chase. And then you look at Josh Allen at times, he's just determined, right? Like, we're not going to lose this effing game. Go F yourself. If I got to do this, I'll run it 20 times down your throat, take a shot. Then at the same time, I think both these guys are incredible. Both of them got weapons. I think the Bengals have just a little bit more weapons, and I actually think the Bengals defense is one of the most underrated defenses in the league. I'm riding with, I say it every week, Burrow, Bodkins, Bengals, baby. That's what we're riding with. I mean, you can't go wrong either way in this game. If I was going to put money on it, I wouldn't even put money on this game, because for the simple fact that I don't know who's going to win it, but we got to make a pick. And I'm picking Cincy.
No problems with that whatsoever. It's a little weird that you have a Macaulay Culkin fetish, but whatever.
Me and Michael Jackson together, you know.
Come to Neverland, Joe.
Hey, Mr. First Down, I appreciate you joining me tonight. Where can everybody check you out at before we get out of here?
You can find me on Twitter at Mr. First Down, where I drink heavily and cry over what's happened to my team. And you can currently probably see a picture of me in the future with a cardboard sign saying the end is nigh and running around with the bell. So prepare yourselves, Titans fans. It's going to be a big off season. Buckle in, baby.
It is currently 24-13 in the fourth quarter, so there's that.
There we go. That's more like it. Anyway, thanks for having me on.
Hey, again, I appreciate it. I'll be back in the morning, folks, for my weekly sports wrap-up, and then Sunday we'll do our Week 17 reaction show. This has been another great episode of the Bodkin Show. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribe, share to the Bodkin Show, Let's Talk Sports Network, that's where I've met almost every one of my guests, including Mr. First Down on the Let's Talk Sports Network. It has been a pleasure, folks. Be a friend, tell a friend, like, subscribe, share. I'm going to hit that outro, baby. You guys have a good rest of the week. We'll talk all about it on Sunday. More playoff brackets to happen, and we'll break it all down on Sunday for our reaction show. See you then.